From the Hingin Islands to the city-states of Eorzea to the distant land of Tyrell via the magic of podcasting, this is episode 63 of A Podcast Reborn, a show celebrating our journey in the past, present, and possible future of Final Fantasy XIV. This episode is being recorded on Sunday, January 6th of 2025. I almost messed that up. I'm glad I didn't read the show notes incorrectly. The following podcast may contain mature language and will almost definitely contain spoilers for content in the game, most likely the recent Hildibrand quest content. My name is Brian Black, otherwise known as Ro, and I have made a resolution this year to clear one of the Dawn Trail extremes in Final Fantasy XIV. That's all I'm saying about that for now. With me, as always, are my two wonderful co-hosts. First off, our Calico Catmom VTuber, who hasn't posted on Blue Sky in a few weeks, but I do know that she has opinions about Count Orlok from the recently released Nosferatu movie. Hi, Megan.
Hello. My opinion is would not.
Would not.
No, thank you.
As should
Robert
be your
Egger.
standard answer for vampires.
Robert Eggers set out to make an unfuckable vampire, and he succeeded. Congratulations, Robert.
And of course, we also have blogger, machinist, part-time warlock, and a man who almost had the police called on him for having the audacity to ask for a refund for food at a restaurant that he was never even served. Hi, Brandon.
If anybody who works... no, you know what? Scrap that. If the guy who owns the Shipley's Donuts in Lubbock, Texas is listening to this show, I have two words for you. They are fuck and you. But you don't need to hear me complain about the absolute dog shit service we received there. You're here for what you've always been here for. Did you guys hear about Red Lobster's new FF14 promotion with a new, I guess it's a menu item that features Kryle's parents?
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's just their endless shrimp promotion rehash, but...
Endless shrimp. Yep. Got it. It's okay. It tracks as a dad joke.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, if you're listening, I'm not sorry. Wahaha.
Yeah, it's did better than an AI would do. We'll say that much. All right. Well, here we are, January of 2025. It's been a month and a few days. The holidays have been here. We've had some in-game holiday shenanigans. There was a new snowball mount available, which was just a purple version of an old one that I didn't get. I've got to say that my Final Fantasy XIV gaming has been still relatively minimal. I'm waiting for the next patch content. I've been doing logging in mostly for my casino RP stuff and for doing Juno every week, because I know that I will never have enough coins from the first Juno raid, because you need coins from the first Juno raid for the entire freaking expansion. After the second raid comes out, after the third raid comes out, you still will need Ordell coins to upgrade your gear. So I am always going to be doing Juno, even on the weeks where I'm not playing much Final Fantasy XIV. But you know what? Considering that Alliance raid is my favorite Alliance raid of the freaking game, no complaints.
Wow. That's pretty high praise.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and I understand that is going to be a little different for me specifically, because it has a lot to do with the Final Fantasy XI nostalgia. I think mechanically and gameplay wise, it's strong. And then the nostalgia on top of that, just to me, makes it the best. I think for me, gameplay-wise, if you just look at gameplay and you don't care about story or, references to past Final Fantasies and such, I'd probably say Crystal Tower and the 12, the Endwalker one, are kind of 1A and 1B. Crystal Tower, because it's short and easy, and the Myths of the 12 one, because it's just a lot of creative bosses and mechanics, and it was just fun to play.
I need to confess something. I have still not set foot in the new Alliance raid.
Oh my god.
I never played Final Fantasy 11, so I don't have the attachment there.
Mhm.
And also, I think it's just, I mean, aside from Myths of the 12, which on the whole, aside from the last boss, I found mechanically I could grasp how it was supposed to work after just seeing it a couple times, compared to the later two Nier Automata raids where I'm like, I still don't know how these bosses work all these years later. And I've still got that, kind of fear in me, like, oh, am I going to be just absolutely miserable trying to get through this? But the other problem is the holidays have been insanely busy around here. So I don't know. I'm at a point with Dawn Trail where I'm like, I have all these things I accomplished in both Shadowbringers and Endwalker that I kind of thought I would want to redo for Dawn Trail. And then I just look at all of those goals and go, this is absolutely overwhelming. I'm just not going to log in because it's too much.
Choice paralysis.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to overcome that. It also doesn't help that I have like a very bad memory associated with starting Dawn Trail's MSQ to the point of whenever I've tried to do it on my Catgirl alt, I just remember all those like really bad feelings and emotions, the emotional place I was in when I was doing it the first time. And it's just like, this is kind of souring the experience. So I haven't been able to quite overcome that yet. And, I also haven't had a lot of time to try because holidays are crazy. So I'm hoping eventually I can pull that off. But also, I realized at probably like midday of the 31st, I'm like, I really want this to be a year where I do more outside of MMO gaming than I have in a long, long time. Because it's always been too easy to say, okay, I have a couple hours. I can either make progress through like a really long game and not really want to go to bed when it's time to go to bed, or I can log in, do a few roulettes and say, all right, I got 15 minutes before bed. This is a good place to log out. So I've been in that mindset for entirely too long, even back in the World of Warcraft days. And I'm looking at my games to be played pile, which is only growing larger because guess what? We finally have a PS5. And going, yeah, I want to devote more time to non-MMO gaming this year.
Yeah, and also I think you can probably say just on top of all of that, although I know for a fact that you do specifically set aside like time for family nights and such. I mean, your kids are getting older, so family commitments are probably going to be more frequent and such like that as they're getting older. That's just
my God. The amount of extracurricular things we're having to make time to take kids to is just getting bigger and bigger. And I'm like, oh yeah, the consequences of my own actions. Oops.
It's fair. Megan, I think you know what my first question is going to be.
Uh-oh.
Is it going to be about vampires?
No. It's going to be about chaotic alliance raids. Have you tried Cloud of Darkness yet?
No. I've been playing a different game.
Oh.
A game that has burrowed into my brain that is extracting money from me because I am weak.
Oh no. A free-to-play game?
Yes.
Oh no, Megan.
Which FTP game? It has gotcha elements.
Okay.
I can play it on my computer and on my tablet and on my phone. Which one do you think it is?
I was going to guess Marvel Rivals, but apparently I'm way off base.
Well, no, I have also been playing Marvel Rivals, but I have not given them any of my money.
I mean, that's fair. Although let's be real here, that alternate Psylocke skin and also Jeff the Landshark in a freaking fuzzy jacket is adorable.
Jeff, you can get that for free if you play the winter event.
Okay.
Go get that. I do.
Be right back.
I did God get
that. So I'm going to say I don't think it's Genshin or Honkai Star Rail, and since it's more recent, I'm going to guess Wuthering Waves.
No. More pretty.
Oh, wait. It's the Infinity Nikki.
Yes. Infinity Nikki owns my soul.
Yep.
I am Infinity Nikki's little bitch, and I cannot fight it. I love it so much.
Wait.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not familiar with this.
Please, by all means, explain Infinity, Nikki. I saw the game, like the Game Awards and the preview for it, so I know what it's about, but go ahead.
Is this related to that Goddess of War Nikki game?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah,
So,
please.
so imagine it's Breath of the Wild, but instead of a big empty open field, it's a cozy open world with little European villages dotted throughout. You can catch bugs, you can go fishing, you can fight things, although they don't tell you you kill them. No, you're purifying them because they're just negative energy manifested. And every time you use one of your abilities, you change into a different sparkly outfit. And the whole thing is predicated around the different sparkly outfits you can get. And you also basically do Pokemon style gym leader battles, except it's a walk off. It's a fashion show.
It's Breath of the Wild meets Princess Peach Showtime as a free to play game with gacha.
Yeah. It is Barbie's dress up fucking. You also have an adorable little cat sidekick who sasses you. I love him. His name is Momo. And he wears a little hood, and you can get different hoods for him to wear. And you can float around. I'm really bad at platforming. That's the main thing that I don't like platforming. I'm bad at it, but it is literally like the main fucking game mechanic in this game. And yet still I am obsessed. And so with gacha pulls are for special outfits, and of course they do FOMO. There's a limited period of time you get to pull for certain outfits, and of course there are outfits that you could just buy outright. And so once we get near the end of a pull period, I start panicking because I haven't finished the set that I want.
I can't wait for like the cross IP promotion outfits.
Oh man,
God, I would love some cross promotion. They have a bunch of like friggin' codes you could put in to get like, free currency and stuff, but I've run out of them.
Okay, if you wanted any IP's outfit in Infinity, Nikki, what would be like your
God, wish? Like a magical girl, something like a I mean, Sailor Moon's obviously my favorite, but their outfits aren't I would probably be like Madoka outfits would be really great. I don't know if the tone really matches, but the aesthetic sure does. Oh my God. Yes, it is fun. It is whimsical. It has like an MSQ that I'm still going through because I constantly getting distracted by going to go fishing. I love the fishing. Fishing is probably one of the funnest fishing games in a game, like a side game that I've done. Like you gotta pull the fishing rod in the opposite direction that the fish is going and then reel them in. It's like such a simple mechanic. But
that sounds it sounds kind of like Final Fantasy 15 fishing. It's just a little more interactive than most.
Well, I like it. Cool. I also am having a lot of fun with Marvel Rivals, although
who's your main?
Well, I kind of will play any support depending on the needs. I think I really love Rocket. And I'm really good at Mantis, but she's not my favorite. But it's like, I can literally turn a tide if I switch to Mantis. So I'm always like, fine, I'll go you fucking Mantis.
Can you guess my main? And I will tell you it's a support.
It's a support. Loki.
No.
It's Jeff. He's a land shark.
It's Luna Snow.
Oh yeah, Luna's fun. I like. Well, I always end up picking Luna if we're like in the last minutes of the game because she's so fast to get up there. I don't. Well, Luna's a lot like. Well, I'm always comparing it to Overwatch because to me it is basically Marvel Overwatch.
So, yeah, and I don't think they do anything really to hide it, but it's Overwatch, but shuffled up a bit. It's not like they. Yeah. It's not like it's not like anything is an exact clone of an Overwatch character, but they'll take like mechanics from one and some mechanics from another. Like Luna Snow has a little bit of Lucio going on.
She's very Lucio.
But Storm also has some Lucio kind of stuff going on, just different stuff, and they just shuffle things around. Punisher is like part Bastion, part Soldier 76.
True. I will say Storm, one of my favorite DPS. The other one that I like playing is Moon Knight because I just really like doing the little combos. I think they're so fun. So I'm always switching up to try and like get one of the pair things, the bonuses. That's what I think really sets it apart from Overwatch is the like, what are they called? The combinations?
The team ups?
Yeah, the team ups. Oh, they're so fun. My favorite fucking thing is to ride on Groot's shoulder as either Jeff or Rocket. It's so great. You get extra like armor when you're up there. Like they can't shoot you as good. And you just like aim your healing down and then you're just the little fucking death machine off his shoulder. It's great. And then I don't got a platform. I love it. But yeah, Storm's really fun. I love tornadoing bitches. It also I love pets. I love being helpful. So I also like Namor. I like putting down little squiddies. And I love buffing other people. And I love my tank is Penny because I love doing mines and spider webs and stuff. And those spider webs do so much fucking healing. It's redonkulous. Like if I could just spread my little webs all over the point and everybody's just like skating around on them and we have like you only need one healer. It's great. That's another one where like I've turned the tide as Penny a few times. Like if we already have two healers, I'm like, well, it's Penny time. That's the thing. I very rarely get to be a DPS. But
I haven't played like over half the characters, and apparently next week they're putting in the Fantastic Four.
I know, right?
This game is going to have 37 characters, and it's only been out a month and a half.
I've enjoyed every single character that I've played. Obviously there are some that I like more than others, but like Loki is really fun. I don't know if you've tried playing with him. Because I love setting up pets and turrets and things. You're literally shooting your clones all over the place. They're basically act as turrets for both healing and damage. And with your big ground AoE heal that you put on the ground, your clones will also poop them out. So I've literally been like running to the point, shot a clone into the middle of the chaos and pooped my ground AoE on everybody before I could get there. And then like finger snapped over there. Oh, it's fun. And also you get to stealth, which is very useful as a healer. Apparently you can also backstab people from stealth. I've never done it. I've never seen anybody do it. But, oh man. Yeah, Loki's fun. Plus you get to hear him be a little, sniveling wiener the whole time.
Yeah, I think they've nailed the whole comic aesthetic. I think the voice cast is pretty phenomenal.
Oh, the art styles, the art direction's so good. It's like,
yes, it is.
It's so comic booky, but it's still very 3D and very cool looking. Like it's not totally cell shaded, but it's not cell shaded. I don't know. They hit that balance really good. The only character I really do not like looking at is the Punisher because he looks like a mutant potato. He's Rob Liefeld Punisher, which is annoying to me because I actually really like playing Punisher because, you know, sometimes I just want to take it easy and sit in the corner and pew pew with the turret.
It's nice. You know, at first I thought I was going to be a little turned off to the third person aspect of it, but actually I'm not. And also it's
butts
clever.
In this game. The butts are so good. Oh my god, all the butts. Everybody who has a butt. It's amazing.
I've got to admit, I know I'm just going to be one of the many sheep here when I say this, but I do stand Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel's so cute. Also, I love playing her because you just get to stand in the back and throw acorns and get a shit ton of kills.
Yeah.
I hate melee. I hate melee in every game. I want to be far away and shooting the pew pew, and Squirrel Girl's perfect for that.
No Hulk smash, huh?
No. even with Penny, she's got guns. Like,
yeah.
The only time I have to melee is when I'm ulting, and instead I'm just throwing down a shit ton of mines. I'm like, nah, I don't need to hit anybody. I'm just going to throw down all my mines.
I clearly need to play this game more. I have not experienced much of these characters at all.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's funny because once I was done with Overwatch, I really didn't have any desire to play that kind of game again.
I missed Overwatch, and I really love a game that you can get in, like do a few rounds and then get out, and like you don't have to do a huge time commitment to it. Like that's what the main thing I missed about Overwatch, and that's usually how I like to play Final Fantasy 14 too. Is once I get into like raiding, I'm just logging on for like a couple hours a week. I'm not like constantly doing it, but I love just boop in and out, and I think it's really fun to just try everything, try everyone, because they all play really differently. I have not played one where I'm like, oh, I hate this. I've played some where I'm like, not as fun, not my favorite, but I'm never like, ew, gross.
Right.
But the same thing, I didn't hate anybody at Overwatch either. That's the thing, like, it's really well designed. Like, and all the lines and the lore and the like little banter and stuff just makes it really fun.
Yeah,
I will say there are stages that I don't like. I'm fucking tired of Hydra base. I want to go back to Asgard. Bring me to Asgard. I want to go to the shiny place.
Also, Megan, speaking of butts, just a reminder that coming soon in the game are Jean Grey and Emma Frost.
You know who possibly has the best butt in the game, though?
Who's that?
Fucking Venom.
Why did I know you were going there?
It's so.
Why did I know?
Venom is caked up as fuck, and like because Venom is like black with like white highlights, his little booty is so shiny.
Yeah. Before you said it, I knew you were gonna say Venom.
It's like two little dodgeballs right in your face, you know? Oh my god.
Outstanding.
Wow.
All right, but so to try to get us on track, so not too much Final Fantasy 14 for you over the past few weeks.
No, I did do the holiday. I did both holidays, and I did the hearty boiled.
You did your homework.
Which I thought I literally did that last night after Nosferatu. But, oh my god, we went to see Nosferatu at like 9:45, and like my sleep schedule is completely destroyed right now because me and Ward are both sick still. We got sick like over Christmas. It's still hanging around, and the problem is when Ward is congested, he snores so loud.
Oh no!
That not only can I not fall asleep, if I manage to fall asleep, he will wake me up. So now we're literally like sleeping in shifts because it just can't be done otherwise.
Oh.
But so like 9:45 p.m. we're both awake. We're going to Nosferatu. We're like in the theater, of course. You know, it's like it wasn't full. Like I love the row behind the bar. You know. Like almost every theater has that. Oh, that row was almost full. We got like the last two seats in that row, but it wasn't a super full theater. But still, it was an amazing movie to see in theaters. Oh my god, it is gorgeous. It is like cinema. Like the shot composition, the cinematography, the costumes, the sets is just visually absolutely a feast. Highly recommend. It is a horror movie. It will make you deeply uncomfortable. I will say, in my opinion, it is a bloody movie. It is not a gory movie. And to me, those are two distinct things.
No, you're absolutely right about that.
And to me, it barely like, I'm so fucking jaded. Like, if I see a fountain of blood, I'm like, interesting. If to me, it takes some sort of like grievous bodily harm before I'm like, oh, like, you know.
Saw movies, basically.
Yeah, or, you know, well, I can even get freaked out by like a pinky getting ripped off or something. Like something that feels visceral and real, I guess. Yeah. But everything in this movie is so stylized, is so heightened. That's the thing. It feels very German expressionist in that it is dealing with like the unreal and like the dreamlike and the expressionistic. It's melodramatic. It's over the top. And I leaned over after we saw the movie. I leaned over to Ward and I'm like, Ward, I'm through with subtlety. I want horror with its dick out. Now what?
Of all the metaphors
our first
on with.
There's our first memorable line of 2025. I want horror with its dick out.
Oh my God, it's like you get in this movie and you know what you're getting. Like from the very beginning, you're like, oh, okay. Like this is not a realistic, this is not a subtle, this is not like a human drama. No. We are here in the realm of nightmares. And like I'm here for it. Yeah, I loved it. But I'm a person who loves stylism, who loves seeing things expressed in like there's a whole school of film theory of like cinema verite, like, oh, you should be striving to capture real life. I'm like, that's boring. I capture my real life every day with my own eyeballs. Bring me.
Yeah.
Bring
But
me.
hey, that's just a theory, a film theory.
Yeah. I'm kind of tired of that with some games too, like certain games that are like almost movies and games, like just trying to be a little too real.
Yeah. Like the whole Red Dead thing or whatever, where you go through every single drawer. Yeah, I feel like that's more impressive in a game because they had to like program all of that. With a movie, it's literally like I pointed my camera at a guy and he did a thing. It's like, okay, cool, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I love stylism, and it's so, this movie especially, so artful. Like the shot composition and the colors and everything. It's great. I love that. I feel like I've been eating good for the past like year or so. I've been seeing a lot of movies where directors have just really been leaning into like really composing their shots and really making it like, yes, this is a visual feast for the eyes, and not just like I am here to absorb a plot and listen to people talk and vaguely see things. It's like that sort of storytelling definitely has a place. I love a good narrative podcast. I love a good like, I don't know, what would you call the genre of TV where like you can mostly listen to it, you don't really got to look at it that much? Like daytime television? I don't know.
There's a lot of documentaries that you can listen to and not have to watch.
Yeah,
and
I'm like, that's fine. But if I'm going to the theater and I'm going to see it on a big screen, I want it to be like visually. Mm-hmm. And I would say Dune 2, incredible. Mm-hmm. That was the absolute cinema has become a meme, but yes, Dune 2, absolute cinema. Nosferatu, absolute cinema. And I would say to some degree, Romulus was very visually good. Mm-hmm. And like, it had a lot of visual storytelling, a lot of like visual metaphors, and a very cool and interesting to look at. And I'm super glad I saw it in theaters.
Yes, same with Romulus here. The only part I wasn't big on Romulus was the last 15 minutes, but
I love that. I don't know why everybody hates the tall man. I thought he was creepy as fuck. Imagine turning the corner and you see that thing. Oh my God. And also it's like he clearly wanted to do something new with Alien. There you go.
That's fine. It felt like that should have been the ending of a second movie. I don't know. To me, it felt like the movie ended and then it's like, here's another ending. When movies have multiple endings, it always annoys me. It's one reason where like Return of the King annoys the fuck out of me.
I would argue that is an Alien series staple, especially if you go back to number 1 and 2. Alien and Aliens.
You're right with 2, yes.
And in 1, she thinks she's defeated the thing and she's getting into cryo sleep, and then it turns out the alien is in the escape pod with her.
Yeah.
And she has to deal with it. So like this is something that happens in almost every Alien movie. And I don't know. My one note for this whole thing was that spoilers for Alien Romulus, by the way. The pregnant girl needed to know what that black goo does, or like that the black goo could possibly save her. And I feel like she needed to be in more of a desperate situation before she used it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my one note. But who knows? Maybe that ended up on the cutting room floor or something. But the rest of it, fan-fucking-tastic. The sequence of her, like, of the main girl, like, using the gun to, like, avoid acid goo in the air. Oh my God, so tense, so good, so interesting. And the shot in the very beginning when they first like break the cloud cover of the earth, they see the sun for the first time in their lives, and then the sun gets fucking eclipsed by Romulus. Is just like, ooh, oh, it's the darkness has come for them. Oh, it's so good.
All right. I want to, with the last 20 minutes, try to steer more back to Final Fantasy 14.
This is ostensibly still a 14 podcast.
I mean, we try. And I mean, like, folks, if you're still listening, I mean, bless you. But I understand that we're going to probably have a couple of episodes like this where it's like a half or 2/3 content that's not Final Fantasy 14. If you're here and you're listening to us, you're listening for us, and you're not necessarily listening because we're your Final Fantasy 14 podcast. I am never going to try to make an episode 100% Final Fantasy 14. It's only going to be that way if the three of us want to do an episode that's all 14. Right now, the way the content is, this is actually one of the things that I kind of want to talk about. I feel like I know that this has been the way it's been done in past years, and I know this is just a routine for them, but I feel like content pacing is off if they have an intention to keep my interest. But at the same time, this is a game where the director has specifically said, play our game for a while, and if you don't have anything you want to do, unsub and go play something else. And because of that, I don't necessarily fault Final Fantasy 14 for not having a whole lot of stuff that I want to do right now outside of a couple specific things. That being said, here's my hot take on the Hildibrand content. My hot take on the Hildibrand content is I think the whole story from beginning to end should be in one of the patches. I think that spreading Hildibrand across 5 parts is a sin.
I don't know if I'm willing to go that far with you.
Same.
But it needs to be a hell of a lot longer. Like, the ARR Hildibrand stuff was considerable each patch.
Yeah.
This thing was way too damn short. I'm sorry.
It was 15 minutes.
It really was. And normally I'm the kind of person who's like, oh, thank God I got Hildibrand over with. But now I'm just like, why did you even bother if this was all you were going to give us? Like, I actually found myself wanting to be like, okay, I normally don't care for this content, but even I can tell that this felt like an absolute waste of my time just to have me turn around and say, oh, now I have to wait however many more months before you get around to doing this again.
Yeah. Yeah. It felt way too short to me also. I felt like we were just getting started and then it was like, nope. I was like, oh.
I guess that was it. I guess, my upset kind of comes more from a failure of expectations, but I do feel like, and I really have to go back and like time it or check, but I feel like the amount of story we got per patch, even if you go to Endwalker, I feel like those were maybe not an hour long, but it felt like a good half hour of stuff. When I say this was 15 minutes, folks, I literally saw the time on my clock when I started and the time when I finished, and it had been 15 minutes. And that blew my mind.
It was honestly kind of ridiculous. And I don't know, like, it just made me not want to put any more time into this. Cause I'm like, if this is all you're going to give us every patch, I care about this story even less than I would have otherwise.
I think it's an interesting twist, but here's the thing. So they're looking for Hildibrand. Hildibrand, they find someone who looks to be Hildibrand, but might not be Hildibrand, or maybe is. They think it's So currently the theory is, this is an older Hildibrand because he got trapped in the dome. But there's also a part of the story where you as the main character say, I've run into other versions of the same character before, which is true. I think that Hard Boiled is a Hildibrand from another reflection.
Hard boiled.
I don't think it's our Hildibrand who's older. Even I think in the post credits thing, don't you see like Hildibrand in the post credits real briefly?
To be honest, I don't remember.
You see a bunch of Hildibrands. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like in the background,
you see the virtual Hildibrand.
You see Ghost Hildibrand. You see
that's what it was. A ghost. Yeah.
You see Hildibrand in his like Hingashi geisha disguise. Like it's just all over the place.
Yeah. So I mean, my overall opinion on it is that was a good opening 15 minutes. Where's the other 15 to 45?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say I'm interested, but also just equally interested and disappointed by the content. And all I can say is I hope that that's an anomaly. I really do. Like, I cannot say enough how much I'm looking forward to 7.2 so long as 7.2 has the first part of the exploration zone content. And I really, really hope it does.
Yeah, I know it's like the way it's been done before, because I've actually got the wiki pulled up here, and 0.1 patch never had any of the other like more casual in-game content. It's always been like, oh, here's a new extreme trial, here's maybe an ultimate or something like that. And in this case we got like a chaotic alliance raid, which Cloud of Darkness may be fun for some people, but it does not interest me in the least.
It was fun to watch. There's no fucking way I'd try it.
Oh yeah. I've watched my friend Jess in there multiple times, and she looks like she's having a ball, and she kind of went ham on it and ground out all the rewards from it. But I'm just like, this is more. It honestly, it seems like there's not very much new to do that's not difficult high end content, and that's never interested me. And I think I've gotten to a point where I'm like, all of the other like more casual stuff I have to do, for some odd reason this time around, is not holding my interest whatsoever. And I don't know what the solution is, other than to say, hey, maybe don't wait until the 0.2 or 0.3 patch to add in your more casual content for like, Eureka, which came out in, I think it was Stormblood 4.2. And I know Baja didn't come out till 5.3, but, and I think Endwalker didn't even really have anything like that.
No, because it had Island Sanctuary, and that
Yeah.
kind of took up the time there.
Yeah.
And Island Sanctuary was fine. It was interesting, different kind of content, but it didn't scratch the itch that people who had been playing Baja and Eureka and were looking forward to that stuff missed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they need more not so high-end difficult content to do in earlier patches, something that can maybe tide over people who don't necessarily want to jump into extremes or ultimates, or why can I not remember the name of what the raid hard mode version is? Savage. There it is. So
Point one seems like a good spot for the first variant dungeon, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, even that would have been nice. Or if you're going to do if you're going to go back to the old model, maybe start the trial series at that point. But I have a feeling we're going to go with the Endwalker model of the trial series is incorporated into the MSQ again. But we'll see.
I think that's going to be the case too.
Not entirely sure how I feel about that, but I mean, I did them all for Endwalker. I suppose I can't complain that much.
Megan, as far as like just the story itself, how'd you feel about it? Outside of the shortness and the brevity.
I love it. It was such a funny, I was not expecting it at all. It was such a funny angle to take it in of like an actual legitimate detective. And of course, now we have a whole other genre of stuff to make fun of, which is, the hard-boiled
private dick.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so perfect for what was so funny is Ward was like, do you think he is running a blade? Do you think he is a blade runner? And I was like, God damn it, Ward. So it's perfect.
It's like we've got the noir detective contrasted against the fact that his background area is this very cyberpunk, sort of everything is quietly horrible while seeming very amazing, like utopian high tech society. And I feel like that could be interesting to go off of if it wasn't for the fact that it's just going to be more Hildibrand at some point or another.
Yeah, but I found all of the jokes have been landing for me and very funny. I loved the whole like Nashu getting stopped at the front gate for having explosives and being like, "Oh, it's medicine," Like, oh my God.
And they have a logic error.
Yeah, they literally just go, "That makes no sense. We're going to shut down."
I know I should expect it every time there's more of this story, but every time that fucking Lalafell shows up.
Oh my God. True. I think I blocked him out of my head. Oh my God. He was
Forget he's a part of it. And then when he shows up, you're like, that fucking guy.
Every time I see him, I want to punt him. And I'm a Lalafell lover, God damn it.
I just want one time for there to be a running gag of the bombs miss or get deflected off Hildibrand for whatever, and instead they hit that guy.
Yeah.
Like literally it's like, oh, you expect, Hildibrand's going to get blown up again. He does the whole, mouth wiggling, whatever the heck it is, where his mouth just like goes open like, oh God, no, why? And then something happens. The bomb gets knocked out of the way and then that guy blows up and that becomes the recurring gag.
I would like to give both of you a gift today.
What is your gift?
I would like to give you the Discord reaction from Zim about this quest line. And I have her permission to read this stuff. Her takeaway was, Detective Hardboiled is absolutely Penthouse Man of the Year. Get that man naked and pose like Burt Reynolds. That's my takeaway. The brooding, the crow's feet, the jaded attitude, the egg. She showed me her screensaver at work. And it's a screensaver of Hardboiled with the pose. I'd have to drop it into our channel chat. Then she says, she finishes up with hubba fucking hubba, those bedroom eyes, Detective Hardboiled, eat my eggs.
Oh my God. What? And I cannot stress this next part enough. The fuck.
She has it down bad for Hardboiled. You have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
That is my gift to you today.
Incredible. Girl, follow your dreams.
Just wow.
So don't let your dreams be dreams.
I was talking with her about this. She said that like this was one of her most favorite parts of the whole quest line. Like one of like her favorite parts was would it be, I think, the Heavensward stuff when you dealt with the older antagonists, like the old lady and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Those parts she found pretty funny, and like this was like right up there for her as like her peak Hildibrand content.
You crazy.
Yeah. I found that very amusing.
I am tempted to put it to a vote whether or not we want to bring her on as the fifth person for the waifu wars / husbando hullabaloo turn.
Hardboiled will be her number one husbando. Like Hardboiled will destroy everybody.
I'm really, really like not looking forward to like continuously arguing about these things again. But at the same time, I kind of want to ask her to come on just because it's going to be peak content for the show like it is every year.
Well, you need more unhinged fangirl representation.
I thought that's what you were for.
Yeah, but we need
more. But you need more.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Anyone have any other stuff they want to talk about Final Fantasy 14 or otherwise before we wrap up? If not, I can always ask Megan for an anime review.
Boy. What did I do last time? Dan?
You did do Dan, yes.
You did, yes.
It's like a new season has just started. I
have a question for you.
Sure.
Actually, that's anime related. I have not watched this, but I know of its existence. Have you watched Code Geass: Rose of the Recapture?
I've watched some of Code Geass, not all of it.
The new one.
No, I have not watched the new one because I'm not finished the old one. That one is that was slightly, I wouldn't say before my time. I don't know. I think that was at a time in which I was not watching much anime. That's like a mid 2000s anime. It's supposed to be really good. It's a classic. I liked what I watched of it.
The first series is like critically acclaimed, very good and stuff like that. I have not watched the new stuff. I watched the original series, and it's one of my favorite series. The new one, it has very mixed reviews.
Yeah, I was never a huge fan of the original. I started it. It's one of those ones that's like really long, and then you like binge it for a while, and then you walk away from it, and then you can never figure out where the fuck you left off. That's what it is to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, also I'm not a huge mecha person. Like there has to be like another intersectional thing for the mecha. I don't like it has to be like a mecha romance or a mecha horror, or like it can't just be robots. It's got to have something else going on. But
the machinist pain in the room is offended at this statement.
Have I recommended Shangri-La Frontier yet?
Not that I can recall.
One. It's literally like Let Me Solo Him, the anime.
Okay.
So it's the near future. They have full dive VR, and this one guy is obsessed with. In Japan, they have this term. It's kuso game, which is literally a shit game of like shovelware, and he's obsessed with finding super broken games and then still finding a way to beat them. So he's got like really good Twitch gaming skills, and he knows how to compensate and all this stuff. And then he gets into what they call the kami game, the really good game, which is like an online MMO fantasy but secretly sci-fi thing, and it's literally just about like him playing the game and exploring the systems and his friends and stuff. But it's very funny. It's very cool of a premise, and it's very hype to watch. And I would also say watch the dub, because they localize it in that like they put in silly memes and gamer humor and stuff, and I enjoy that immensely. And also Emola's best girl. So yeah, that's that. If you want to watch, like, there's that one's really good, and also the fucking SAO spinoff Gun Gale Online anime is really good and really fun. Like, if you want to watch some fun gamer stuff, like video game anime that is clearly made by people who actually play video games and like video games and like understand video games, those two good shit.
I've always wanted to get into and watch SAO.
Don't do it.
Because, I mean, it sounds like my kind of thing, and yet I've never done it. It's awful.
Ward had... This is... So...
SAO, by the way, for people who don't know, Sword Art Online. Sword Art
Online is a power fantasy written by a guy who played, like, the first 10 levels of Final Fantasy 12. Like, never did end-game content, never got into a guild, never really made any friends, never really understood what the real core appeal or even the core game mechanics of an MMO are, and then somehow went on to write the biggest Trapped in an MMO series ever. Also, just the most... He's matured since then, okay? He wrote this when he was young, I will say, and he has apologized. But just the most sexist bullshit ever. And like so obnoxious. Ward literally uses SAO to torture me. Like, if I'm gonna get him to watch a super scary movie, he's like, okay, if you'll watch like 2 episodes of SAO with me, I'm like, so I have to decide if it's worth it or not. The last episode that we watched, so the main character, his name is Kirito. His girl obsession, who eventually, of course, becomes his waifu, is named Asuna. And of course, it's a power fantasy, so Asuna both needs to be super badass and totally dependent on the hero, which is so fucking stupid. And where I rage quit was that Asuna is like in a guild. And her guild leader is like, you're hanging out with Kirito too much. And Kirito's like, hey, bro, Milady does what she wants, and I'll fight you for her. And the guy's like, fine, I'll fight you for her. And Asuna just stands there and goes, not like, hey, dipshits, I decide what I do with my own time, fuckers, because I'm a human being with autonomy. So
okay, that's fair.
That's the
I
kind of
get that.
shit you're signing up for if you go into SAO.
Okay. So, but then you said there's a spin-off Gun Gale Online. Is that better then?
Oh, it's so much better. Oh my god, number one. Okay, the premise of Gun Gale Online is kind of fucking adorable, and I love it. So the main character of Gun Gale Online is a very tall woman. She's a tall Japanese woman, and all her life, everybody's been intimidated by her. And so she's really interested in playing VR because in VR, she can be tiny and cute. But with this fucked up system they have in SAO, which they do have in the full dive VR gaming system that they already established for Gun Gale Online, because the game itself was established in Sword Art Online. But this is a separate series taking place in that game, but it has nothing to do with those characters. In this game, you log in, you do not get to create your character. Your character just gets randomized and you get plopped into the game. And so she's trying all these different genres of game, and every time she loads in, it gives her like a tall character, and she hates it, and she freaks out, and then she finally logs into like the fucking Call of Duty military shooter, and she gets a tiny, cute, pink character. And so she's like, this is my new favorite game. I'm going to play this game forever. And she has no idea how to play it, and she's, a very sweet girl, and so now she's having to like learn to get good because she wants to be tiny and cute in this hardcore shooting game, and it's very fun. And it's like, what do you think is like the basic premise of like, oh, I'm in a full dive VR game and I have a real life? It would be like the contrast between how you present yourself in the game and who you are in real life, right? Like that would be the most fertile ground for some drama and character development. SAO does fucking nothing with that. Gun Gale Online, one of the core principles, and also just like it's fun. Like the different characters she meets and who they are in real life and who they present themselves as in the game, and like they have like tournament arcs, but they're actually like fun and mean something, but not like death game means something, like character stakes mean something. But yeah, it's fun. I like it a lot, and I'm always like the idea of like when I meet people in a game, like what their character looks like versus who they are is always like interesting to me. And so when it's always like, oh, me and all my friends got the Log Horizon sucked into an MMO, they always barely ever address it. It's always like, yeah, we were all playing characters that just look like us. I'm like, bitch, if me and all my friends got sucked into an MMO and were forced to be our characters, half of us would have gender dysphoria. Half of us would be like, oh God, what have I become? This was a meme character. I like, like just I hate the it's like a trope in like just anime video game stuff of like, oh, I hit randomize and this character just looks exactly like me, but with like blue hair. It's like so stupid. Like, no, nobody does that. Like the basic thing, if you want to like have escapism and like go play a game, you're probably going to either like make a really idealized character, make like a really funny, stupid looking character. Like you're going to have a reason for why you look the way you do in the game. That can say a lot about you.
I can kind of attest to this. Now, it doesn't apply to my MMO characters, but in some of my single player characters I made where there's character customization, a character that I will try to recreate as best as possible is the female halfling that I played in the beginning of the Plus 5 to Hit podcast. I play a halfling female in like my first Baldur's Gate 3 character was a halfling female.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of people do that. There's another anime that has to do with online gaming, which I think is called Diary of an MMO Junkie, which is it's a cute, fun, lighthearted romance anime wherein the main character is a girl playing a boy in an MMO, and her love interest is a boy playing a girl in an MMO, and they have like a romance in character, and then they like slowly, shenanigans, romantic comedy. Unfortunately, the director of that anime is kind of a Nazi dickhead, but none of that gets into the anime itself. I think it's based on a manga or light novel or something, but it is good. It's lighthearted, and they have a whole thing of like, so there is a plot line where somebody recognizes somebody else's character because it looks like a character that they made in a previous game, because they always make a character that looks the same.
Nah.
And so Yeah, and so it's like, but like people really do that, and like you could be like, oh, but yeah, I do like gaming anime made by gamers, made by
I,
people or people who have just logically thought through like, why do people play games? What does their avatar say about them? Not just like, I want to make cool guy look like cool guy.
Brandon,
Yes.
before we go, how much have you played, or are you going to be playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in the coming weeks?
Whenever I actually get around to purchasing it,
You
a
haven't
lot.
bought it yet.
No, dude, Christmas just happened. Okay.
Oh no, it's fine. I thought because you said you got a PS5, I just assumed like one of your first purchases was going to be.
No. The first purchase I made with our PS5 was Jedi Survivor for my wife, because technically the PS5 was her Christmas present from me.
You could get that game pretty darn cheap too during like Christmas sales.
Yeah, when I went to look for it, it was basically like you can either pay, heavily discounted price for the first FF7 remake game, but the second one, nah, full price. Enjoy. And I'm just like, ugh, for crying out loud. So yeah, as soon as we recover enough from all the Christmas spending we had to do, both in presents and for travel expenses, I'm going to be playing a heck of a lot of it. It's just a matter of, am I going to have to fight everybody else in this household except my daughter, who is not quite the gamer the rest of us are, for PS5 time? Absolutely.
Here's the solution. You wait till January 23rd, which is literally 2 weeks and change away, and you get the PC version, because the PC version is also on sale right now and probably cheaper than the PS5 version.
You know what? That may end up being the route I go, because we downloaded a $25 racing game called Horizon Chase 2 for Malcolm, and he is obsessed. And to the point where he and my wife are already arguing about whose turn it is to play on the PS5. And maybe I shouldn't get into that. Maybe I'll wait a couple weeks and grab that.
Yeah, because right now, instead of it being $70, you can get it for $50.
Where at?
On Steam.
Okay, good to know. I'm gonna go look into that. But yeah, Christmas is Christmas, despite the fact that our financial situation is a lot better this year than it was last year, just due to job problems and stuff. Still draining on the old bank account. So I'm gonna wait a little bit and till I get paid again before I make that jump. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be trying to do more offline gaming this year, because I feel like I've put a lot of games aside. I mean, I was also given Final Fantasy IX on Steam as a gift from my best friend this year as well, so I've got that to play.
I have a feeling we're going to get an announcement about that game later this year.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rumors about a modern remake of Final Fantasy IX, not like Final Fantasy VII remake, but more like an HD, remaster.
Like the remaster that 8 got last year, I think.
Well, like better than that, like a remaster, more than just high res graphics, but it. I mean, you probably haven't played the Resident Evil games, but kind of like how some of the Resident Evil games have gotten a remake. It's like, yes, it's the stuff you're used to, but it's done a little bit better. Like, in other words, like in Final Fantasy IX, a lot of the maps are, even though they were made with 3D art, they're still relatively static.
Do you think they'll upgrade the models? Because 9 was like a return to the whole, we're going to go for the more cutesy, maybe not cheap.
I think it'll still be cutesy. It'll still be fantasy cutesy. Yeah, I don't doubt that for a sec. But that will, I think, do it for episode 63.
Before we end, can I share some news I actually just found out about?
Yes.
And I would like to get your opinions, both of your opinions on this very quickly. Sure. So, this is very weirdly specific to my own interests. Professional wrestler Kenny Omega who is...
Oh, I saw the entrance.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen it yet, but he got new entrance music composed by Masayoshi Soken.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, I haven't heard it.
Oh,
Composed by Soken and including vocals from the guy who did the
Nobuo
Shadowbringers.
Uematsu, wasn't it?
No. The vocals, the guy
Oh,
did the vocals for, the one who sings like we fall.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see that here now.
Yeah. I have seen that wrestling entrance, and all I can say is Soken was cooking.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because, Kenny Omega is a massive video game nerd, a massive Final Fantasy nerd, and like one of his entrance music from when he was like wrestling with a Japan promotion was like very, very inspired by One Winged Angel.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, sometimes you're like, okay, is freaking Square Enix going to come after the composers for this organization for being a little too close to the bench here? But no, he just decided, you know what, I'm going to reach out to Soken and see if we can make this work, directly. I haven't seen the entrance yet. I've got the video pulled up here, and as soon as we're done, I'm going to go watch it. But frankly, I did not expect those two worlds of mine to collide like this, and it's pretty darn cool.
Oh yeah. Yep. It is definitely pretty cool.
I don't care about wrestling, but still, I like hype.
I will link. I will link the entrance as soon as I find a version to pull up. I think I found one. I found one, but it's on X, so I don't know if you still have an X account or not.
I do actually. I'm
okay.
I don't want anybody impersonating me, so I haven't deleted my account yet.
Okay, there you go. I dropped it in chat. But all right, that will do it for episode 63. I've got to think that it'll probably be a month before our next episode. I've got to think that we will probably be recording really close before or after the live letter for 7.2, because people are expecting 7.2 to be like late March, early April, and they usually have like 2 live letters before the patch comes out. So if we're doing one in early February, it's going to be really close to a live letter, I think. So we'll have stuff to talk about then. March is going to be interesting because March is probably going to have like multiple episodes, because I feel like, the waifu wars, the husbando hullabaloo, they'll be back in March. I mean, that's a given. But considering that's also going to be around the time that 7.2 drops, don't be surprised if there's maybe 3 episodes in March that might blow everyone's mind, but we'll see. But expect it to be about sometime in early February when we're back with you. Until then, Megan, how can people find you?
I am Cat Mom Megan everywhere, especially on Blue Sky and Twitch. I have not been streaming lately because it has been Christmas and I have been sick. But I'm planning to start up again next week. That is on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific. We're probably gonna be playing friggin' Marvel Rivals and Infinity, Nikki. So come hang out, punch some dudes, play some dress up. It's gonna be great.
Brandon, how about you?
You can catch me on Blue Sky at the BMAT. You can also go read my writings, mostly about D&D lately, at yourquestlogisfull.wordpress.com. I am proud to say that I actually, for once, maintained a consistent once a week posting schedule for the entirety of 2024.
Nice.
And I am looking forward to keeping that going in 2025, because I feel like I've never been able to pull that off before. I always falter for whatever reason, and I'm weirdly hyped I did it, and I don't want to stop. You can also catch me on the Plus 5 to Hit podcast. It's a D&D live play show. Endgame. That's all I can say. We
are reaching the end game. I'm putting up a new episode is going out in by the time you hear this episode, a new episode should be out, which will be the episode before the game session that I'm doing tomorrow, which is very much an end game kind of episode. It should be pretty cool.
Yeah, we're fighting a goddess. With
No big deal. Just fighting a goddess.
The fate of an entire region that's been swamped under an endless winter hangs in the balance, and we will see if we.
You guys
who
fighting
lives, who
Elsa?
More or less.
On steroids, yes. Imagine if Elsa had the power of a deity. And I guess we'll find out who lives, who dies, who tells our story.
She creates life.
Yeah. Yeah. As for myself, if you want to reach out to me, you can do it by contacting the show on Blue Sky at A Podcast Reborn or emailing the show at apodcastreborn@gmail.com. You can go to bonusroll.gg to learn a little bit more about the show. And as always, theme music is provided by Husky by the Geek. A link to his YouTube channel will be included in the show notes. And any of that music or any other Final Fantasy XIV derivative music I decide to put on here belongs to Square Enix. No copyright infringement is intended. That does it for now. We will talk to you in early February. For Megan, for Brandon, and of course for Butterscotch and Bon Bon, this is Brian Black. Until next time, may your loot rolls be high, your glamour fantastic, and your duties always complete. Brandon.
Well, we didn't talk a whole lot about, Final Fantasy XIV specific things, so I don't have anything to chain this to, so we're just going to go with it. Folks, I have a question for you. How does a Dark Knight shred their cheese?
How?
Dog.
It's so stupid, but with a great sword.
I've heard worse.
I know, from me.
Bye.